Hey y'all, I wanted to talk to you about my planner that I made called the Gentle Prioritizer. I've used it for myself. I just want to tell you some things that I'm really enjoying about it. I love that I can start it from whenever. By the way, I've left it undated. That's great because when I use other planners and I'm like locked into a calendar month, I usually will go like days or weeks without like forgetting to look at it, and then I leave all these like pages unused. So there's something freeing about being able to just like pick it up from whenever I want. I also like the guided nature of it. It kind of like guides you in a very specific way of thinking about things. At its core, it's about asking yourself who you want to be on the last day before you die, and what does living well look like to you. It has you think about that, and then it has you dial it down to like some very specific practices. So you go through some reflection at the very beginning of this book. So there's like reflections on the past, hopes and prayers for the future, and then it has you think about who do I want to be a year from now, in 10 years, and what about 50 years from now? And filling this part in the other day was really helpful. I was having a day that was just squeezing out any thoughts of future. It was just all I could do to sort of make it through that day. And I was sort of feeling kind of hopeless by the end of it, like my reality would never be changing, that every day would just be hard. But sitting down to sort of think about like, who do I want to be in a year, in 10 years, in 50, it was just so refreshing. It was literally like my mind was chewing a chewing gum of like fresh breath mint, because it was just like having me rise above the things that were currently weighing me down, and just having to think about like, where is it that I'm trying to steer my life? And then the next thing you think about is which daily practices you currently cultivate and how you're being formed by them. And so like a daily practice is something, it's just a habit that you're building every day, something that you're always doing. And so for me, when things are difficult, my temptation is to disengage, go on my phone and just sort of numb out, because current reality is just too difficult. But when I think about it, if I give into that temptation every time things are hard, I'm not going to be present to the challenges, and I'm not going to get to any solutions, and it's going to turn me into a disengaged person when all is said and done. And that's not who I want to be like the day before I die. You know what I mean? So that page is good for just helping you look at how you're currently living and think about what it's doing to you. And then you think about which daily practices you want to cultivate so that you can become the 90-year-old you want to become, you know? So if you sort of like set this like just really far off vision, and then you think about, so then you kind of dial in. It's almost like a brainstorm page. Like you're thinking about in all these different areas of your life: spiritual, personal, physical, creative, home, relational, financial, professional. You're thinking about the different habits and practices you want to make a regular part of your life in each of those spaces. And you list those. And then you have to identify your top three most life-giving practices. And those are the ones you're going to commit to definitely showing up for every single day. And then this planner kind of acts like an accountability partner, because every day there's a little check mark that you can put for when you've done your practices, basic stuff, so it can still qualify as a planner. So just to keep top of mind, due dates, people to see, places to be, because if you can nail the basics, then the rest of everything else is going to kind of fall into place around it. This book kind of helps you to recenter. It helps you to remember what it is that you thought about at the beginning of the year, how that translates to every day of the rest of the year, And as you inevitably forget, it helps bring you back there. And I know that not everybody is like a pen and paper person, but something about having to like sit down, put something physically in your hand and write, and put a check mark is really great for just kind of like bringing you back to that promise that you made yourself, you know? And then finally, every week, after the week's over, you have a weekly pause. You reflect on the experience of cultivating your chosen practices, and then you think about how this affects your plans for the coming week. So I'm really liking this planner, and I will include a link in the description for where you can get yours. I like it. I hope you like it too.